Now that we've finished our basic branch connection table, let's take a look at a piping model and check to see how our connections look in the 3D environment. So from our desktop, let's take a look at our spec. Let's look at File, Open Spec, Desktop, Exercise Files. We're going to go to 0404, Test Branch Start, Branch Connections, Spec Sheets, and here's our LinkedIn CS150. Now I'm going to go to our branch table editor, and here's the connections that we have defined for this project. Now let's go take a look at our piping model. So we're going to open our Plant 3D program, and once we have that open, we're going to come to our current project, and we're going to go to Open, Desktop, Exercise Files, 0404, Test Branch, Branch Connections, and we're going to open the Project XML. Once that's launched, we're going to expand our Plant 3D drawings, and we're going to double click on branches. Now I want you to take a look at what's here. I've already gone ahead and placed some branch connections, and if we hover over this pipe, you'll see that we were using the CS150 spec for this. So if we look, 12 by 12 connection is using standard T, and then a 10, 8, 6 is using reducing T. And then all the connections smaller than that, you can see, are all using stub-in, just plain stub-in connections. Ours is going to look just a little bit different from that. So to test, we're going to come up to our specs here, and we're going to choose our LinkedIn CS150. So we're going to run the same header so we can make a direct comparison. So we're going to come up and we're going to select our 12-inch pipe, and we're going to route that pipe. So let's start making some branch connections. We'll make our 12. And you'll see it's placed a T. Let's run 10. And you see it's created a reducing T. Our 8-inch. Reducing T. 6-inch, reducing T, 4-inch, we're using a stub-in, so I'm going to put 2.5-inch here. In the other connection we have 3, but let's just see, because we're going to check this back against our spec. And you'll see that's a stub-in connection too. Now going into a 2-inch. We're showing a stub-in, 1.5 inches. See, we're showing that this one we have the OLED, and the 1-inch should also be placed with an OLED. So you see, depending on the spec, because the setup was different in the CS150, the connection types are different. When using a standard CS150, the brief said that we can use a pipe stub-in. For our LinkedIn CS150, we're saying that for these two connections, we have to use an OLED. So let's just quickly go back and compare them against the spec that we built. I'm going to switch down to our spec. Just going to minimize this and let us take a look. I'm just going to take a look at our 12-inch run here. And just double check. 12 by 12 should be a T. 10 by 12, we've specified that we can use either or. We've prioritized that it was going to be reducing T, which is the result that we got. Out of the two, it pulled the correct component. Our 8-inch, we only allowed a reducing T, which we've got. 6-inch, same thing, reducing T. And then moving into the smaller branch connections, 4-inch, we specified that we could either use an OLED or a plain pipe. We did prioritize for the plain pipe, and that's exactly what we got. Same with the 2.5-inch. We prioritized for plain pipe over the OLED. And then for 1.5 and a 1-inch, we specified that it must use an OLED connection, and that's exactly what we got. So you can see the branch tables are a bit of a pain to set up when you're working with a full complement of piping sizes, but they do make the pipe routing process easier. Always make sure that the connections are checked and that the branch table exactly matches your client specifications.